Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I am Muhammad Yasin. This is virtual class of Pakistan International School Taif. This class is for the students of grade 9. This is our 25th video in this class. Today we are going to do unit 12. After today's lesson, we shall be able to do grammar exercise that is given at page 98. We shall be able to understand the passage given in unit 12. After today's lesson, we shall be able to understand the correct pronunciation and meaning of new words. At the same time, we shall do the exercises of this unit also. We are going to do a grammar exercise first of all that is given on page 98. In fact, there are two exercises at page 98. Before starting those exercises, it is very important for us to know what are they about. In fact, they are about negative and interrogative sentences, as you can see in Urdu. उसने वालिदैन का हुक्म ना माना. This is negative sentence. He did not obey his parents. In fact, this is past indefinite. And in past indefinite, we use second form of the verb. When we change it into negative, we use did not. And after did not, we always use first form of the verb. The tense of this sentence is past indefinite. This is negative form of past indefinite. उन्होंने हमारी मदद ना की. They did not help us. Dear students, these sentences are taken from page number 97. They are given before the two exercises that we are going to do today. Very important it is for you to read these sentences again and again until you develop a good understanding of such type of sentences. 7 are here, more are there, up to 18 I have shown here, and here are up to 20. To do exercises given at page 98, it is important to prepare these 20 sentences. To prepare means not to learn by heart. You should be able to translate the sentences given in Urdu. If someone asks you, तुम्हें ये किताब कहाँ से मिली, you should be able to say, where did you find this book from? This means you have prepared it. Dear students, this is the first exercise given at page 98. We shall translate it. उसने तुम्हारी तलख बातों का बुरा ना माना. Some of the words are translated here in vocabulary section also. It will help you to translate these sentences. For example, talakh baton, its translation is given bitter words. Bura na mana, bura manna is given here mind. What will be the translation of first sentence? He did not mind your bitter words. We shall translate it like this. उसने तुम्हारी बातों का बुरा ना माना. He did not mind your bitter words. उन्होंने अपने दोस्तों का साथ ना दिया. They did not stand by their friend. क्या तुम्हारे भाई ने तुम्हारा हाथ बटाया? Did your brother help you? आपने पागल कुत्ता कहाँ देखा? Where did you see the mad dog? मजीद ने अपने छोटे भाई की परवरिश ना की. मजीद did not bring up his younger brother. Dear students, one thing to notice here, all of these sentences are given in past indefinite. Past indefinite, and we use did in past indefinite to make it negative and to change it into interrogative. First sentence is negative, did not is used, and it is very important to remember after did not we use first form of the verb. Did not first form. Did is written here in the beginning to change it into question. After did we cannot use second or third form. Always when there is did in the sentence used to make a sentence negative or interrogative, we use first form of the verb. And let us move forward. We have done 5 sentences. Number 6 is मजदूर ने इतना बोझ कैसे उठाया. How did the laborer carry such a load? How did the laborer carry such a load? Number 7 is डॉक्टर ने टीका किसको लगाया. Whom did the doctor inject? वो कराची कब पहुंचे. When did they reach कराची? क्या तुम घर खैरियत से पहुंचे. Did you reach your home safe and sound? हमने तमाम तारीखी मकामात की सैर ना की. सैर करना is given here at number 7. सैर करना visit. तारीखी मकामात historical buildings. We did not visit all historical places. हवाई जहाज ने 7:45 बजे परवाज शुरू की. The aeroplane started flying at 7:45. 7:45. 8:15 means 8:15 बजे. 7:45 means 7:45 बजे. मेरा खत किसने पढ़ा. Who read my letter? मेरे भाई ने मुझे रेलवे स्टेशन पर खुदा हाफिज कहा. खुदा हाफिज ना कहा. My brother did not say me goodbye at railway station. मोची ने मेरा जूता मुरम्मत क्यों ना किया. Why did the cobbler? मोची cobbler. Why did the cobbler not repair my shoe? दरवाजा किसने खटखटाया. Who knocked at the door? Dear students, we have completed first paragraph given at page 98 with the help of given vocabulary. Now we shall move to the next paragraph. We shall translate it. This is the next paragraph. First sentence is उन्होंने हमारी दावत कबूल ना की. कबूल करना to accept. They did not accept our invitation. After did not, don't write accepted. No. They did not accept our invitation. क्या तुम्हारे दोस्तों ने तुम्हारी कामयाबी पर मुबारकबाद दी. Did your friends congratulate you on your success? कमरे में झाड़ू किसने दिया. Who swept the room? उन्होंने तुम्हारा इस्तकबाल कैसे किया. How did they welcome you? क्या तुम्हारे दोस्तों ने ये खेल पसंद किया. Did your friends like this play? Let us move to the next sentences. We have completed 5. And now we shall do part number 6. उसने अपनी तमाम जायदाद फरोख्त ना की. He did not sell whole of his property. बावर्ची ने चावल किस तरह पकाए. How did the cook prepare rice? You can say How did the chef cook rice? मैंने अपने वालिद को हवाई डाक से खत ना भेजा. At number 4, translation of हवाई डाक is given, that is air mail. I did not send the letter to my father by air mail. Part number 9 is, क्या ऑफिसर ने अपने चपड़ासी को तब्दील ना किया? तब्दील करना, transfer, it is given here in the vocabulary. Transfer, तब्दील करना, transfer. Did the officer not transfer his peon? मजीद ने दोनों हाथों से दौलत क्यों उड़ाई? दौलत दोनों हाथों से उड़ाना. Translation is given here, to burn the candle at both the ends. To burn the candle at both the ends. Its translation will become, why did Majid burn the candle at both ends? Part number 11 is, क्या मजिस्ट्रेट ने उसे रंगे हाथों पकड़ लिया? Did the magistrate catch him red-handed? रंगे हाथों पकड़ना, catch red-handed. हवाई जहाज अड्डे पर कब उतरा? When did the aeroplane land on the airport? क्या तुमने परवाज से लुत्फ उठाया? Did you enjoy the flight? मालगाड़ी मुसाफिर गाड़ी से कहाँ टकराई? मालगाड़ी मुसाफिर गाड़ी से कहाँ टकराई? टकराना, to collide. टकराना, to collide. Where did the goods train? मालगाड़ी, goods train, collide with passenger train. तुमने मुझे फैसले से आगाह ना किया. आगाह करना, inform. You did not inform me of the decision. Dear students, we have completed second paragraph also. I think you have got the idea of past indefinite tense, its negative form and its interrogative form. Now we shall start our unit 12, that is given in our textbook. The title of the lesson is 3 days to see. 3 days to see. It looks just like this. Okay. This is about Helen Keller. You can see in the picture. Who is Helen Keller? We can read a little about her here. Helen Keller was born in 1880 and died in 1968. After an illness was left blind. In fact, in her life she became ill, and after the illness she became blind. Blind and deaf. She could not hear anything, she could not see anything after her illness. At the age of 19 months, at that time she was of 19 months, Keller wrote The World I Live In. This is the book that she wrote in 1908, giving readers an insight into how she felt about the world. When she was not able to see, she was not able to hear, she wrote this book to tell the people what she feel. Let us move forward. Dear students, first of all, I would like to show you here some words which I think some of you may not be familiar. Bark. Bark means the hard substance that covers the surface of a tree. The outer layer of the stem of a tree is called bark. This is used here as a noun. Birch is a form of tree with smooth, often white bark. Bark, as we have discussed, outer layer of the stem of the tree. You can see its stem is white. After this, chasten. Chasten means to make someone understand that they have failed. Okay. Massachusetts is a state in the northeastern US whose capital city is Boston. Dear students, now we shall start reading of the lesson. This is the first paragraph of this passage. Before starting the paragraph, we shall read the question. How can you relate the underlined phrase with this paragraph? Underlined phrase is here: eat, drink and be merry. Eat, drink you know very well, and be merry means be happy. Let us read the paragraph. I shall read main points of the paragraph for you. You can read it in detail later. Sometimes I have thought that it would be an excellent rule to live each day as if we should die tomorrow. She is saying there was a time when I was thinking it is to enjoy the life, enjoy in such a way that it is your last day. Such an attitude would emphasize sharply the values of life. We would live each day with gentleness, vigor, and a keenness of appreciation which is often lost when time stretches before us in the constant panorama of more days and months and years to come. If we try to relate this phrase with the paragraph, we can say eat, drink and be merry was the thinking of Helen Keller at some time. At some time she was thinking like this. Let us move to the next paragraph. This is paragraph 2. In stories, the doomed hero is usually saved at the last minute by some stroke of fortune, but almost always his sense of values is changed. He becomes more appreciative of the meaning of life and its permanent spiritual values. It has then been noted that those who live or have lived in the shadow of a bring a mellow sweetness to everything they do. Here is written death, I think. It is written in the book like this. That was not clear and I could not find any other book also. Perhaps I can best illustrate by imagining that I should most like to see if I was given the use of my eyes, say for just 3 days. Paragraph 4 is on the first day. In fact, she is giving here the detail. She think if 3 days are given to her, what would she like to see? I should want to see the people whose kindness, gentleness and companionship have made my life worth living. In paragraph 5, we shall try to find out the answer. Why is the arising of the sun so special for the author? The next day, the second day of sight, I should arise with the dawn and see the thrilling miracle by which night is transformed into day. I should behold with awe the magnificent panorama of life and which the sun awakens the sleeping earth. Okay, how can we answer? Why is the rising of the sun so special? A rising of the sun is so special for Helen Keller because it awakens the sleeping earth. It awakens the sleeping earth. As we can see, at night everyone is sleeping and at dawn everyone wakes up. This is paragraph 6. It shows this day I should devote to a hasty glimpse of the word past and present. I should want to see the pageant of man's progress, the kaleidoscopic of the ages, how can you much be compressed into one day? Through the museums, of course. This is part number 7. Question is, what does the revelation of beauty mean to her? The following morning I should greet the dawn, anxious to discover new delights, for I am sure that for those who have eyes which really see, the dawn of each day must be perfectly new revelation of beauty. This is according to the terms of my miracle. Dear students, how shall we answer the question? What does the revelation of beauty mean to her? Revelation of beauty means she comes to know new things. This is paragraph 8. The question is, why has she no time to waste in longing? Longings means waiting. I shall have no time to waste in regret for longing. There is so much to see. Yes, the first line is the answer of the question. She would not like to waste the time because there are so many things interesting and enjoyable. The first day I devoted to my friends, animate and inanimate, friends whom she knows and whom she does not know. The second revealed to me the history of man and nature. Today I shall spend in the workday word of the present, amid the hearts of men going about the business of life, and where can one find so many activities and conditions. Yes, students, this is paragraph 9. Now and then I have tested my seeing friends to discover what they see. Recently I was visited by a very good friend who had just returned from a long walk in the woods. I asked her what she had observed. Nothing in particular, she replied. I might have been incredulous had I not been accustomed to such responses, for long ago I became convinced that the seeing see little. She is saying, in fact, the people who can see, they see little. They see what they want to see. But according to her, everything is to see and to enjoy. This is paragraph 10. How was it possible, I asked myself, to walk for an hour in the woods and see nothing worthy of note? I, who cannot see, can find hundreds of things to interest me through mere touch, she is saying. So many things I find interesting when I touch them, and the people who can see do not find anything to see. I feel the delicate symmetry of a leaf. I pass my hands lovingly about the smooth skin of a silver birch or the rough shaggy bark of a pine. Dear students, you can complete this reading in detail by yourself. This is the next part of that paragraph. Question is, what is the meaning of the underlined phrase? Underlined phrase is a thrilling and unending drama. Thrilling, enjoyable, suspicious. The happy quiver of a bird in full song. I am delighted to have the cool waters of a brook rush through my open fingers. To me, a lush carpet of pine needles or spongy grass is more welcome than the most luxurious Persian rug. Dear students, this is paragraph 11. The question is, explain the difference between facilities and opportunities. If I were the president of a university, I should establish a compulsory course in how to use your eyes. Yes, she is complaining. In fact, she does not have eyes, and she is not happy with the people who have eyes. She is saying the people who have eyes does not use their eyes properly. The professor would try to show his pupils how they could add joy to their lives by really seeing what passes unnoticed before them. He would try to awaken their dormant and sluggish faculties. She is saying the people have good qualities to see which are not active. I would like to make a university, professors of which would try to activate that quality of the people. Dear students, facility is the thing that we use to facilitate ourselves, and opportunity is the time, the incident which we have to enjoy, that is not always available. Let us move forward. This is the theme of this essay. Helen Keller, a remarkable woman, has masterfully portrayed the feelings of the deprived people. Physical fitness, according to the author, is a boon least appreciated by those who are blessed by it. According to her, we must always remain mindful of the blessing of Almighty Allah. Dear students, we have covered some of the words of glossary in our pronunciation and meaning section. Doomed means certain to fail. Inanimate means not alive, the way people, animals or plants are. Mellow means become less extreme in behavior. Pageant means a series of interesting events. Panorama, a view of wide area of land. Shaggy means having long and untidy hair. Stroke is a mark made by moving a pen. Texture is the feel of a fabric or substance. This is the oral activity. In this activity, we are set to have a discussion on the facilities available in our country for special children. Are you satisfied with the arrangements? Dear students, first of all, you should know what is special children. Special children are disabled, having some problem with their legs, with their body, physically some problems they are facing, and some are facing mentally. All of them are called special children. We are set here to discuss the facilities that our country is providing to them. For example, here you can see on the roads they are provided special tracks to move on their wheelchair. Discuss the importance of cooperation with special children. Here the topic is how should we cooperate with the special children to facilitate them to live their life, to enjoy their life. Yes, students, we shall do remaining exercises in our next lesson. It is enough for today. In your homework, you will do both grammar exercises in your notebook. You will do both grammar exercises in your notebook. These exercises are given on page 98 in your book of grammar. After that, you will do all exercises of unit 12 in your notebook that we have done today. They are not so many, but the exercises which we have done you will do again in your notebook. Okay, that is all from our today's lesson. See you later in a new lesson. Goodbye.